Welcome back to another episode of Tailgate with the Tullys. I'm CJ,
I'm Ryan.
and we just had not so super wildcard weekend. Ryan, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, we had a couple good games there. We got the Bucks Commanders. We had Eagles Packers, which was a good game despite it being kind of a blowout at the end. But no, we had some good games. We had some games that were enjoyable, but a lot of blowout wins, and it does take away from that Super Wild Card weekend when you have teams getting dominated. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the divisional though.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast. Ryan's ring light, by the way.
Yep. First episode with the ring light. I'm glowing out here, guys.
All right, so looking forward to this weekend. We do have the Texans at the Chiefs to start us off Saturday at 4:30. My Texans coming in there, as I said, they would dominate the Chargers, winning 32-12. Justin Herbert's looking like he doesn't know how to play football, especially in the playoffs with 4 turnovers and that Texans defense really showing up. CJ Stroud going for nearly 300 yards and a touchdown. Mixon going over 100 yards and Nico Collins going over 100 yards. It really came together for the Texans offense, who has been struggling all year long. And I think it'll be interesting going in here playing the Chiefs, who everyone's had all year long as the top dog and everything, but they haven't had those big wins. They've kind of grinded out these cheesy Mickey Mouse wins. So I think the Texans coming off with a little momentum stride here. CJ Stroud getting back to who he is. I think the Texans could really make a push here.
Yeah, like you said, Chargers just not even in that game. Begs the question: is Justin Herbert just an average quarterback? Is he really all that? That's a debate for another day. Texans did struggle in the first half. They didn't really look great. They played like the regular Texans in the first half. Second half, they came out swinging. Defense played well. Offense looked really good. CJ Stroud, even at the first half, had that sloppy interception, but he came back and bounced back, and it was 282 yards. And like you said, the run game was great. Pass game was great. So just really all came together for the Texans in that second half. And I think it's really the difference maker. If they can ride that momentum into that Chiefs game, they're playing at Arrowhead, and it is the Chiefs. You know, even though they're 15-2, but maybe they haven't had the good wins. They are the Chiefs, and it's a rematch of that 20. I think it was 2020, 2019 game where the Texans were up 24 nothing and blew it and lost. So can CJ Stroud do what Deshaun Watson couldn't do back then and beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead? Be very interesting. I think the Texans could do it. I think based off their win against the Chargers, they could do it. I didn't think they even had a shot to beat the Chargers, but kind of flip my momentum. But they have to ride that. They have to go back to CJ Stroud, that rookie of the year, CJ Stroud from last year. They need him to play. Chiefs obviously rested their starters, so we don't really have a look at what that like. It's been 2 weeks since we've seen their offense, so it will be interesting to see what this Chiefs team can do off of the two pretty much bye weeks in a row. And obviously, they have Patrick Mahomes, who's probably going to go down as the greatest quarterback of all time. So anything can happen when he's on the field.
Yeah, the Chiefs given 8.5. Give me the Texans to cover. I think this game comes down to another, like I said, fluky Chiefs win if they are to win. But I do believe the Texans, if they can get this offense rolling, do have a chance to win this one.
Yeah, no, I'm going to take the Chiefs in this one. I would love to see the Texans win this one, but I can't. Every year I do this, I think that the Chiefs are going to lose. I'm like, this is it, and it's getting to that point where it's just I just have to say the Chiefs are going to win. So Chiefs,
Yeah.
I'll go Chiefs. Chiefs by 10.
Okay. Following that, we do have the Commanders at the Lions Saturday night at 8 o'clock. Commanders coming off, as you said, an interesting win, winning on a field goal there. The Bucks team playing great throughout that game, and I really did have the Bucks winning that game, so a nice pull-out win there for the Commanders. But the Lions on their bye week, a lot of injuries on that defense that we've seen throughout the year, and David Montgomery coming back to play, I think will be huge for them, and just getting that two-headed monster back, Knuckles and Sonic. So I think it'll be really interesting what this Lions team could put together come playoffs. I feel like they've shown a lot of their offense throughout the season with trick plays and everything, so I wonder if that Commanders team can kind of put together a game plan for that. But as I said, they beat the Bucks 23-20. Jaden Daniels going for 268 and 2 touchdowns. Brown and McLaurin both going for 89 yards and a touchdown on top of that. They did not get the rush game established, which I think would be interesting going in here playing Detroit. Unable to milk the clock if you couldn't get that run game going, so that'll be interesting. And just Zane Gonzalez going out there for 3 for 3 on the day with a 52-yard long for the day, and he did hit the game winner. So another nail biter, and going against a high-powered offense with the Lions, I think this will be a great game.
Yeah, no, I think all year long what I've been saying, this Commanders team's going to be good with Jaden Daniels. This Commanders team's going to be good with Jaden Daniels. I thought that he was the best quarterback in the draft class. I thought that he would really be able to take this Commanders team to the next level. Did I think that he'd be playing at the level he is right now? No. I thought he was going to be really good. He's playing above what I expected. This Commanders team has been dominant in these close games where they have like the Eagles game, the Cowboys game that was meaningless, but they still got it done. The Hail Mary. So like they've had these wins, and it's actually like as much as they're like their rival of our division, still love to see it because Jaden Daniels is so good and he's like he isn't like cocky or anything. Like he's just like a good player and he balls out there. He had this scramble. I don't know if you saw where he was like should have been tackled like 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage and it would have given the Bucks a chance, but he just whoop. And
Yep.
I think that's a part of the game where Jaden Daniels, even though they can't get the run game established, Jaden Daniels is still able to do that. And I think that's what's so great about him is that it's not just the arm; he's also got the legs. And I think that's something that this Lions defense is going to have to look out for, especially with you said all the injuries that they've had and they faced. But I mean, even with that, like the Lions offense is just so good. They're just so dominant. They can do anything. They're messing around with teams and just doing trick plays, doing big stumbles. And it's such a fun offense to watch. They get David Montgomery back, which is a huge help. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. Like they have just so many pieces on their team where it's just how do you stop them? Like if the run game isn't working, all right, Jared Goff's going to go throw for 300 yards. Oh, the pass game isn't working. All right, we'll hand it off to our big back, David Montgomery, and then if he gets stopped, we'll just give it to the speedy Jameer Gibbs. There's just way too many weapons there, and I think that the only thing that the Commanders can do is try and get into a shootout. And I just don't know if you can win a shootout against an offense like the Lions. So I'm going to take the Lions in this one. But I am really looking forward to this game because I think that this is the battle of who goes for on fourth down more, and I think it can be a very interesting game in that.
Yeah, Commanders plus 9.5 in the game. I don't know cover wise how this will go, but I do think the Lions will win. They might have a little rust, which could give the Commanders a chance to cover that 9.5. But give me the Lions to win this one outright. Following that on Sunday at 3 o'clock, we have the Rams at the Birds. Go Birds! Let's go Birds! Go Birds! Hurts coming off a decent game, looked a little rocky. Only 13 completions on the day, which to me that was a little nerve wracking. I mean, Devontae Smith wasn't really involved. AJ Brown only one target and one completion on the day.
The Hawkins inner excellency there.
Honestly, I don't have a problem with that. I don't know if we want to make a separate video, but I have no problem with
I don't
AJ
know. Me neither.
Brown at all.
I
Book
was
sold out, so really inspiring people. I went on to buy it personally, and it was already sold out. So.
wow.
Yeah, I went on to get today to get that. But Dallas Goedert and Jahan Dotson making their presence known. Goddard with a heck of a run, just stiff armed the man 3 times. I mean, just complete disrespect. So good to see him get involved. I know he's somebody we haven't really seen that much this year. Jahan Dotson, you wouldn't have even thought the Birds got him, but way to find him in the playoffs, I guess. But I think you really need to get AJ Brown and Devontae Smith involved in this game. I think without that, you're just causing more issues that don't have to be there. And I think Hurts really needs to find them, and Kellen Moore needs to put together a game plan to make that happen. Saquon did have 25 carries for 119 yards, so good to see him get involved. Again, he could have broke free for that last touchdown, decided to slide down. I think he needs to start being a little bit more selfish and just,
Nope.
let something happen for yourself, make your presence known. He does seem very happy to be here, though, so that's always good. On the other hand of that, you do have the Rams coming out of a big win as they beat the Vikings 27-9. That offense didn't even show their full excellence. You only had Stafford throwing for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, but you didn't see much from Puka and Kupp in that game. So I think if they are able to get them involved against an Eagles defense that's now without Nakobe Dean, I think you could really see them impact that. Kyron Williams as well, not getting too involved, only 76 yards on the ground. Did have a receiving touchdown, but I think if you could see the full potential of this Rams offense, I think that could cause a lot of issues for this Eagles defense. And if you cause that shootout with the Eagles, that's when you're going to have to start seeing Devontae Smith and AJ Brown really show up.
Yeah, like you said, Eagles didn't play the greatest game of football. The pass game was a little rocky, but they were able to get it done. It was a game. It's a game where your defense had 4 turnovers, and you still weren't really putting up the numbers. You really weren't scoring that much. So it does worry me a little bit as a team like the Rams, who probably aren't going to turn the ball over as much. Like you can't be failing these drives. Like I think that the reason the Eagles won that game was because of that fumble off the kickoff. Like that shoots you down as a
I
attacker.
still do not believe the Eagles had that ball.
I just think it was a huge like cluster bomb, and you just had no choice but to just like the Eagles ended up with
The,
the
the
football.
link was rocking. The refs just saw it and
And
they went with it.
I'm not gonna lie, probably wouldn't have called it Eagles ball, but I'm not a ref. But Saquon just so good. Like you can't stop him. Like it's like he's just so good. Offensive line looks great. The defense looks great. And I just watched Hercules last night, and something AD said is everyone has their weakness. Hercules was his girl. Eagles is Jalen Hurts. Like he is the weakness on this team. That there's no flaws anywhere else on this team. Your linebackers are great. Your safeties are great. Your corners are great. Your D line's great. Your offensive line's great. Your wide receivers, running back, tight end, everything's great. And then you have Jalen Hurts, who's just not able to get to that second level. He's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but he's not what you're paying him to be. And it does worry me, especially in these games against better teams. Like I said, Matt Stafford's not going to turn the football over. Something I like from the Rams is they got a lot of people involved. They had Higbee, Nakua, Cup, uh, some of the other receivers, the running backs, they had the backup running back in the ball. So that kind of something that scares me a little bit is being able to get the ball to multiple different people, especially when the Eagles relied heavily on Smith, Barkley, and Goddard, and we didn't have that like everyone getting the ball kind of thing. So it does worry me a little bit for our defense because it could tire you out. Maybe the different formations throw you off and stuff. So I still think the Eagles win this one. I got Birds by 17. I don't think that you can stop this Eagles team. I genuinely think that this Eagles team is just one of the best I've ever watched in my life, and I don't think that the Rams are going to be the team to stop them if someone does.
Yeah, Rams plus 6.5. Give me the Birds to cover that. I do think they win double digits. I think they should come off with a stronger start this game, given the rust is shaking off now, and look to get those wide receivers involved. But following that up, we do have a big matchup, probably the best matchup of the playoffs thus far. We have the Ravens at the Bills at 6:30 at night on Sunday. It's going to be freezing. It's going to be an interesting game. Nelly no hands over here. The Steelers Ravens coming off a big game against the Steelers, beating them 28 to 14. It was never really a game. Lamar going for 175 and two touchdowns. Derrick Henry doing it all on the ground with 186 and two touchdowns of his own. And I think that'll be a big thing for the Bills defense is if in a cold game, if Lamar's not going to be throwing, you're going to have to watch that. You did have Lamar go in the Wildcat, or Derrick Henry in the Wildcat. Lamar run the option off that, and then Derrick Henry get a big move off that. So there's just so much that this Ravens offense can do. You had Bateman and Hill go for their touchdowns with Zay Flowers out. And I think this Ravens offense is just way too overpowered for the Bills. The Bills did go on to beat the Broncos 31 to 7, putting up 31 straight points as the Broncos just could not play football after the first touchdown. Josh Allen going for 272 and two touchdowns. Cook on the ground, your biggest fan over here, 120 for a touchdown. Yeah, Shakir go for 61. How about Curtis Samuel coming out and just going for 68 yards and a touchdown? Forgot he was even in the league. So it's just been interesting for this matchup. I mean, the buildup is going to be insane. The MVP is on the line, I believe, in this game. Winner of this, I think, will have a little bit of that edge now going into the final votes for MVP. Give me or I won't get my pick yet, but I think the Ravens are really going to provide well in this game, I'll say.
Yeah, like you said, big win for the Bills, 31-7. Something I want to say, because we're not going to talk much about them, is Bo Nix is taking a lot of heat for a guy who's a rookie. I know he's an older rookie, but he did have a great first drive. That drive was great. I mean, if you watch just that drive, you'd be like, wow, the Broncos definitely won that game. Just completely shut down after that. I don't know if it's just a Bo Nix issue. I think it's a coaching issue. I think he doesn't have weapons around him. He has no run game, no pass game. The offensive line isn't that great. So I think just want to put this out there. If you give Bo Nix a chance to develop, or not develop, but like get some help, like that'll be good. But on the flip side, Josh Allen is probably he's like superhuman. I think he might be the best quarterback raw talent wise in the league. I don't know if you saw, but the play where he threw the touchdown to Ty Johnson in the back of the end zone, it was 4th and 1. He runs back, it's a busted play. He like back throws back of the end zone, perfect dot, and Ty Johnson makes a great catch. Like that kind of stuff is not normal. Lamar Jackson probably could have made a similar throw, and I still think Lamar Jackson's number 2 or 3 in the league. So I think that this is a great matchup with two top 3 quarterbacks in the league, and it's obviously 2 front runners for MVP. So it's going to be a great game regardless. But that Bills offense just looks so good. On the flip side, though, you do have the Ravens who that read option between Lamar and Derrick Henry is just not fair. Like it's one of those things. It's kind of like the tush push. Like it's just like it's unfair. Like, you can't stop it. Because what are you gonna do? You're gonna try and tackle Derrick Henry in the backfield, or you're gonna try and stop Lamar Jackson. It's such a crazy like I don't get how you can stop it. And then Lamar's able to throw the ball well. He still has his weapons. I know Flowers was out. You have Andrews still. You have Bateman. There's still guys on this team. You have Nelson Aguilar. Don't forget about him. But he had a catch in the playoffs. So quick applause. But I think that this Ravens team is also unstoppable. I hate that this was a divisional matchup. I was so hoping that this was going to be a conference championship matchup, but still blessed to get this kind of game in the playoffs. You know, sometimes you get those bad games, and I think the Bills' offense is so good, and I think the Ravens' offense is so good. For my well-being this weekend, with who I'm being around, I'll pick the Ravens in this one. I think that that offense is just so good, and I don't think that the Bills' defense is ready for an offense that's good.
Yeah, the Bills are plus 1.5 in this game. Give me the Ravens to win outright. I just think there's way too many weapons on this Ravens team that, as much as Josh Allen can carry a team, I think there's just so much going on for the Ravens. And I think winner of this game does go on to be in the Super Bowl and take on the Birds. So that's it for us. Enjoy another weekend of great football here. And again, check out our video that'll be coming this weekend of the college football championship game that'll be happening on Monday. Check that out. We also are back on air this Monday, 6 to 7 on 91.7 WCUR. So check us out live, call in, talk to us there. But thank you guys for watching another video of Tailgate with the Tullys. I'm CJ.
I'm Ryan.
Go Birds.
Amazing.